Today we're talking with three water skiers, all from the Waupaca Chain Skiers. Please welcome to the show Mindy Vitucci, Cassie Moloney, and Riley Werner. Welcome to Podpaca.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for having us.
Thank you.
So, what do the chain skiers do, and how did you all get involved?
The Chain Skiers are a water ski show team centralized in the Waupaca area. We ski on Rainbow Lake, which is part of the chain of lakes in the Waupaca King area. I had never known that show skiing was a thing until I was a junior in high school. I had heard about a learn to ski clinic that the Chain Skiers put on, and I ended up getting convinced to go, and I joined the season or the team the following season.
So, you didn't know how to ski at all before joining?
Nope, I had never gotten up on water skis. I had barely had any experience even in a boat. So I was completely new to the whole water skiing, show skiing scene.
And do most people on the chain skiers, is that how they start without knowing, or do most have previous experience?
I would say there's a good mix. Right now, we have a lot of brand new skiers. We're now branching out into introducing the learn to ski and getting a lot of younger individuals involved, and so a lot of them haven't had much on water time or really learned how to ski yet. So we do also have like a lot of the older skiers and families who come up and spend their summers in Waupaca that have spent a lot of time on the water that join the team. So it is a good variety of both. I think now like I said, we're getting a little bit more into the teaching. And so a lot of our newer members are just learning how to ski when they join the team.
Is that all ages then?
Yep. So my father-in-law actually went to a learn to ski when I think he was in his 30s. And that's how he joined the team also. But a lot of our learn to ski members are usually high school and younger, mostly around the middle school aged kids. And then we'll teach them how to ski, give them the opportunity to join. But right now we have skiers who are 5 to 51 is our oldest current skier.
Wow. How many skiers are on the team?
We have this year, as of right now, 35.
Wow.
Back in 2016, we had probably close to 50 skiers, if not more. We were a very, very large team. When COVID happened, our team took quite a big hit with numbers. We had a pretty small team last year with 24 skiers. And now a lot of those 10 that we got this year are a lot of littles that we're teaching to ski and are learning, all of the ropes of show skiing. So.
And from my understanding, you guys got hit pretty hard because of the COVID-19 pandemic. And this is your first year back after the pandemic, being on Rainbow Lake and being able to perform in front of the vets home. Mindy, how did the COVID-19 pandemic affect the chain skiers, especially since it was an outside activity? And why did it affect the team for 3 years?
Well, one of the great things about the community in King there is that the chain skiers are permitted to use the property on the Wisconsin State Veterans home grounds. So that's where we practice. And actually, when it was started 50 some years ago, our first spectators were actually the shows were put on for the veterans. So over the last 50 years, it grew to be more of a community event where families would also come, and we still always have the veterans that come out and watch us both with practice and at the shows. But when COVID-19 hit, of course, one of the populations that was most endangered were our elderly. So in order to keep the veterans safe, the property was shut down. Now, the practice dock is quite a distance away from any of the living facilities. And so we were able to continue practicing on the site. However, there was no chance that we were going to be able to perform, or any other audiences could come onto the property to see the club. So that first year, as we all learned to deal with COVID, we didn't do a lot of close skiing, if you will. You know, there wasn't a lot of pyramids, there wasn't a lot of doubles. It was more of ski lines where you're skiing together, but you are able to spread apart from one another. We had sanitation practices with the equipments and things. And as we learned more about the disease with that second year, we were able to be more comfortable being a little bit closer to each other in 2021. And we were introduced to the family over at Bear Lake Campground in Manawa, who graciously arranged for a starting point for our skiers. And then we were able to perform for smaller crowds and on a much smaller basis there at the Bear Lake campgrounds. So one aspect of that site, though, is that it's quite shallow. So part of show skiing is seeing those skiers come up to the shore and come on in and come in for introductions. And there's on-land performances. There's a little bit of acting with it. It is a show after all. And with the site there in Manawa, that was not able to happen because the boats couldn't bring in the skiers safely that often. And the practice site was about a half a mile away. So it was there was a challenge in keeping the show flow. So we have been able to perform a much a modified version of show skiing for the last 2 years. So we are excited to get back to the full show, if you will. Last year, we did compete at the Wisconsin State Tournament, and that was actually the second time that some of our skiers had ever performed in a real ski show. The first time was our practice run at the state side. So the team did wonderfully. The energy was always positive, and they should all be very proud of themselves of what they accomplished with 20, I think there were 22 skiers that skied in that show. And we were competing with teams that have over 50 skiing members, and some teams in other divisions have close to 100 members. So it was an experience. And so this year we're coming back even stronger and excited to have our crowds back, have our full show back, and really be able to perform for our community.
How did you get started in the chain skiers?
Well, actually, the neighbor said, I see your daughter is skiing now. She should join the chain skiers. And so the neighbor, who happens to be Riley's dad, actually would take me to practice, and I would go on my little 2 skis and hang out with all the other skiers, and then he would take me home. So it started there, and as my younger siblings became skiers as well, we all joined, and my parents joined. My father ran the show dock, which has to be an organized person that's good at directing people. And then my mother was the spotter in one of the team boats. Both my sisters have been show directors, both won individual trophies at the Wisconsin state level through show skiing. So it ended up to be a full family affair.
What about you, Riley? How did you get into all this?
Yeah, so I mean, as Mindy said, my dad was also a member of the Chain Skiers back in the day. And kind of like as Mindy said also, it's definitely a family affair for my side as well. My dad being one of the one of the skiing alumni of the Chain Skiers. And my mom has joined recently. She's helping with all the land act, coordinating the land acts. My uncle and late aunt used to be on the team, respectively. My uncle used to ski in the show, and my late aunt actually was the announcer for a while, like I am now. Both of my younger sisters are on the team, either helping with land acts or the junior line, or my other sister is helping choreograph all the dances for the show. So with so many family members joining into the show, it was hard not to end up in it at one point. I only started as a skier doing some of the pyramid stuff and conventionals, but as COVID-19 hit, there was a little bit of a vacuum for the announcer spot, and I don't know, having a bit of a flair for the dramatic, kind of naturally assigned into the role, and we're here now, so we're having the time of our lives.
So do you announce and ski in the show, or do you just announce?
As of right now, I just announced. We're talking about some different ideas of like, okay, what if the announcer like skis off into the sunset at the end of the show? I have ideas like that. But as of right now, it's just they're two different things. But maybe we'll combine them. Stay tuned.
But you did start skiing when you were 13, right?
Yes, that was the year I joined the team.
Okay, and so what was it like learning how to water ski and joining a team that is both kids and adults? What was that like? And it sounds like the team's going to be pretty young this year,
Yeah.
so you might be one of the oldest on the team, as from what it sounds like.
Yeah, definitely. I think especially at my age, it was just a really good blend of different people, different walks of life, different reasons to be joining the team. And it really helped looking in the variety to see like, okay, so everyone has their own unique thing, their own unique reason as to why they're on the team. And that was really encouraging to help find mine. I think that was really nice to have all those different types of perspectives. This year, yes, we're definitely on the bit of the younger side, but especially from us, I don't know, I can't really say older people. I'm only 20, but it's definitely a more of a call to action to be able to help out, be there when people aren't feeling discouraged, feeling like they're not good enough or anything. Even though I'm not like officially a skier for the team anymore, I still feel like my role is very important to help kids feel like they belong on the team.
And I think too, as a volunteer organization, and it is quite a production, there's different facets for all talents. And as families join as a family, they may have one or two skiers, and they may have some that just enjoy performing on shore with the land acts, or they may enjoy riding in the boat and are more focused on the technicalities of the safety or maintaining the equipment. There's so many facets that it really, show skiing really can appeal to all sorts of personalities. And in addition, with it being a young club, and it has always been a young club since, I was the junior skier way back all the way through, it allows for some very strong leadership opportunities as for youth, where as the team grows, there's act captains, and they have to be in charge of however many people are in their act. They need their equipment ready. They need to know how many passes. They need to know the speeds. And it really helps individuals grow in some of those leadership aspects of life.
We'll be right back after this. Farmer State Bank is always here for your family. We offer bank products for today and for your future. Our hardworking staff is here to help make sure that you have the right banking products to meet your family's needs. It all starts with a conversation, so stop in today and talk with one of our knowledgeable staff. Farmer State Bank has locations in Waupaca, Wild Rose, and Fremont, all in Wisconsin. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender. And make sure to tell Farmer State Bank that you appreciate them sponsoring Podpaca.
As far as coordinating, I mean, do you pick the theme first and then coordinate the show around that theme depending on the types of skiers you have and the different interests with those skiers, or how does all that work?
It's been done multiple ways. You know, sometimes there is the theme, sometimes I remember shows that one year was Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and the next year was Willy Wonka's glass elevators. So there was a continuation of a show. Sometimes it's built around the skiers that we have, and sometimes the theme is already there, and then the acts are put into the proper places. But typically it comes down to the personnel. So there's certain skiers that are able to do certain acts or certain types of performances. And when a skier like Cassie, who is very multifaceted skier, who is in many of the acts, she cannot physically be in two places at one time, and it is exhausting going from one to the other to the other. So in consideration of an athlete like Cassie, the show is built with what we call land acts or some downtime on the water. Sometimes we need the water to calm down, you know, from the boat traffic to get rid of the waves. So the theatricals, the actual show portion is kind of built in to accommodate the skiers in the end.
So the show each week is the same, and do people go to one per summer? Is this something that people go every week?
There are people who go every week, just because the actual act that we're putting on the water and the land acts are the same every week doesn't exactly mean that it's going to be the exact show. So sometimes things don't work out right. So you might not have a pyramid that goes up good. One of the ballet lines might not make it off the dock. So there's always the little variables that can change from week to week. And then these shows are, in addition to being put on for the community, they're also really beneficial for us as a team to practice the full show run through for the state tournament. So as we get closer to the state tournament in July, our shows are getting a little more fine-tuned. Everything's running a little smoother. So it is a little bit different of a show each week, even though the theme is the same and the act order may be the same.
Actually, I'm very enthused by you three. I can tell you're all very passionate about this. It's almost contagious. I can see why people would want to join you.
Because I had kind of a unique introduction to the chain skiers. I didn't join with my family. I didn't know anyone really on the team before I joined. It was just me. And I like to really bring to the forefront of people's minds that, one, you don't need to know how to ski. Two, you don't need to have like a huge family that's, you know, rip roaring ready to go and do everything. You can, you know, if you're really passionate about it, you can join just yourself. If you're an adult, anyone under the age of 16 has to have a parent join with them. But it's a really, really welcoming environment. And that was one thing that I was a little, I guess, nervous about joining, just because, like I said, I didn't know anybody. I was joining all by myself, but I mean, everyone welcomed me with open arms. They were all super willing to teach me everything, eager to introduce me to all of the different aspects. I think in my first year on the team, I tried just about everything that there is to try. And, you know, everyone was really great about, you know, teaching me, giving me tips on how to improve, and just overall really, really welcoming to a newcomer.
So how does a kid join the chain skiers, and how would a adult join? How would you go about that?
So I'm our membership coordinator. So the very paperwork aspect of it is, if anyone is interested, we have a membership packet that we send out. And in that, it's got our fees for the team, which include helps the team pay for the gas that goes into the boats, the maintenance of the boats. The team provides all of the skis, all of the ropes. So the initial fee for the team is $150 for this year. And then on top of that, there's also USA Waterski insurance and Wisconsin Waterski Federation insurance that that families are required to have in order to ski. And that's an insurance. So if anyone were to get injured or something, were to happen, that they would have that insurance to help cover some of those costs.
And Cassie, those are the skiing fees, right?
Yes.
Skier fees.
Yep, those
so
are the fees.
all individuals have to have the USA Waterski, the insurance membership, and be a member of the Wisconsin Federation, which both are rather reasonable fees. And then the non-skier is a $20 fee. So the actual club chain skier fee is just $20 for non-skiers. So we've actually partnered with the Waupaca Parks and Recreation Department this year, and we are offering 2 camps. They're 3 days, 6 days really. So 3 days for 2 weeks. There's one being held in June, and that one I know is full. And then there are still a couple spaces, as far as I know, for the second camp, which will be the last week in July, the first week in August. And those are offered through Parks and Rec, that you can sign up for those. So those are, besides our Learn to Ski event that will be happening here, I believe in June. Those are other opportunities to kind of get a taste of what the Chain Skiers is all about without a full commitment for the year.
And just to be clear, that's the Waupaca Parks and Rec, and going to the Waupaca Chain Skiers website is a great way to have any questions for anyone that has anyone interested in skiing or being a part of a team. But also, we haven't talked about this year's theme yet, which is the Magic Ski Boat off of the Magic School Bus, the 80s children's show.
Yes.
And you guys have a new theme every summer. Why did you guys select Magic Ski Boat for your comeback theme?
So this was really built off of the original idea we had of road trip, where it was just a little bit more of US geography, different states, what they're famous for. And the more we thought about it, the more, the Magic School Bus idea started to come up, like road trip, this big bus, but what if we make it a ski boat? That's our whole thing here. And so the idea slowly became, starting to play off of people's nostalgia a little bit with Magic School Bus, because I feel like Magic School Bus as an IP is in a very comfortable spot of being very recognizable. And the idea of Magic Ski Boat is that Miss Frizzle's long distance cousin needs to teach their class about US geography. And so we'll be going through all the different types of US states, what they're famous for. And it's going to be a very fun theme, I think, for everyone.
And truly, a lot of it comes from the competition side. Show skiing as a sport has changed, where it used to just be a variety act, where pyramid is this act and swivel skiing is a this, and kind of a hodgepodge of things put together. And what judges are looking for now, or so we're told, is more of a storyline where you have a beginning, middle, and end kind of thing. So doing the Magic Ski Boat with an overall theme and a lesson involved, if you will, kind of gives it more of a storyline than just a typical road trip across the United States.
I've definitely noticed the theme of ski shows getting more creative, because as Mindy said, there was definitely an era where this is our pyramid, this is our variety act, and this is ballet. And then it's graded solely on how well those individual acts did. But I think, especially with the added creative side of it, it's definitely more pleasing to, I'd say, the audience, a lot more fun, I would call it. It's becoming less of a science, and it's becoming more of an art. And I think that's a really cool thing to watch evolve and grow.
It becomes more of a show.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If you have any questions about ways to advertise with the Waupaca Chain Skiers, make sure to go to their website at waupacachainskiers.com. If you want to know more about their schedule and any new updates, make sure to follow them on Facebook and Instagram. Also, is there any admission cost to go into the show on land?
No, all of our shows are free.
Okay, but there's like, you can donate if you want at the show.
Yes, so absolutely no cost to come and watch the shows. We do send out, during the show, we'll send out some of our younger members with donation buckets to collect donations.
The shows for people that have gone before, they are at a different day and a different time. They are on Sundays at 3 p.m. There's going to be back at the Wisconsin Veterans Home on Rainbow Lake. You can either go on land at the Veterans Home, which it sounds like you recommend is a better way to watch the show compared to going out on your boat on the chain and watching it on the lake.
Due to the safety of the skiers, you end up being pretty far away from all the action.
At the Veterans Home, you'd be sitting on the lawn, so make sure to bring lawn chairs if you need it. I'll end it off with the final question here. What have you taken away from being a chain skier, and why should people join?
I guess my biggest takeaway from being on the chain skiers was how great it is to be part of a community. I think people start to take for granted the people they're surrounded by, and if you know your tribe, right? And I think this is just a really good tribe to be a part of. I personally haven't really seen a community, a group of friends that's so welcoming, so open-armed, and I feel very blessed and very lucky in my life to have experienced something like that.
Do you think part of that is because Waupaca is a smaller community and the chain skiers is a part of that smaller community?
I think so. It's part of it is it's that it's a small community, but it's a very small niche in a small community. And what is unique is it combines some of the summer residents who don't get the benefits of all the things that the community of Waupaca offers throughout the year because they're only there for a couple months, with those who live year round. So it creates unique relationships. And like Riley said, everybody's there to just be together, to have fun on the water. And it gives you a sense of community. It makes for a very large support group of all ages and experiences. And that's what's interesting, is that whether you're some of the summer residents, may have grown up in Nevada or Missouri or the Virgin Islands, and they're able to have relationships and close relationships from those who are just visiting from Appleton or Green Bay. And for me, it was an introduction to the love of water skiing, really. And I've built my whole career around the sport. So that's kind of where I got my roots are. And so that's why we're back as a I brought my family back to be involved there instead of sticking here in Madison, where we have a nationally ranked water ski team, but that's not where my roots are. So
for me, on a more individual level, it really helped hone my leadership skills because I joined right when I was 17, 18 years old. So joining right as I turned into an adult, it really helped me kind of branch out and take on more of a leadership role in a safe environment where I knew, everyone was super welcoming, willing to help teach, but also you knew that, if you went outside of your comfort zone and you wanted to try and step up and take on one of those act captain roles or working to help teach some of the younger skiers, you weren't going to be criticized, you weren't going to be judged. Everyone's there to help each other. So it's a really safe place for, you to kind of branch out of that comfort zone and take on a little bit more of a leadership role. And so I think that's one of the things that I really took away from my first couple of years on the team, is it really helped hone my leadership skills, which, then led to me being secretary for a few years, and now taking control of the memberships and just becoming a lot more involved in the board aspect of the team and a lot more of the behind the scenes stuff versus just on water.
Well, make sure to see the Waupaca Chain Skiers on Sunday, June 18th, 3 p.m. on Rainbow Lake in Waupaca King area. You can go to Wisconsin Veterans Home and watch them on land, or you can go on your boat on the chain and watch them on Rainbow Lake. Thank you, all of you, for being here representing the Chain Skiers. We're so lucky to have 3 of you be on our program today. We really appreciate it, and good luck this season. Good luck in your state competition. And we are glad that you are back at the Veterans Home.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks, Tim.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
And as always, now we are going to end the show with our shout outs. I'll let you go first, Dad.
I'd like to do my shout out to the Chain Skiers. This is the first time since the pandemic that they're going to be back on Rainbow Lake performing for the King Veterans Home. So we just had an interview with them. They're fantastic, very passionate about what they do. And that's who I want to give my shout out to.
My shout out this week is to Dancing Bear Honey. They went to the 12th annual International Black Jar Honey Contest, and they were a finalist and category winner. They're competing against honeys from Spain, Slovakia, Hungary, Uruguay, Netherlands, and others in the United States, among many other countries around the world. Waupaca's Dancing Bear Honey won Best Tasting Medium Amber Honey in North America. It is one of only 10 categories in the entire world. Congratulations to Dancing Bear Honey and Kent. He does such a great job with their honey. They're available at Main Street Marketplace to purchase in Waupaca. And congrats on being the best tasting honey in North America. That is a big deal.
Yeah, not only that, I mean, you got best in North America, but also a top 10 in the whole world.
Yeah.
It's that's pretty amazing.
And that's our show for today. Thank you again to the Chain Skiers for being on today. Make sure to check out their show on Sunday, June 18th, 3 p.m. That's their first show, and they'll be going on every Sunday after that and on 4th of July. Thanks for listening, everyone, and we'll see you next week.